If you know any true sons and daughters of Skyrim, tell them to head to Windhelm. Ulfric Stormcloak wants to see them.
This ends now. That's your best, huh?
You need something to do, or you just enjoy slowing down the hard-working folk?
Welcome. I'm the owner and proprietor. Take a look. Now, if you'll excuse me.
If you want to buy something, go find Sadmjorn. Otherwise...
Gods, no! That's all you've got! Come on! Come on! so fast?
By the order of the Jarl. Stop right there. Smart man. Now come along with us. We'll take any stolen goods and you'll be free to go. After you pay the fine, of course.
What are you looking at? I'm not afraid of you, you know, even if you are my elder.
Welcome, child. This is the Temple of Kinneret. The Gildegreen outside was planted as a seedling in the early years of Whiterun. Disciples of Kinneret could sense something holy in it, and traveled far to hear the winds of the goddess in its branches. Of course, not as many pilgrims these days. To the east of here is a hidden grove where the Eldergleam resides. It's the oldest living thing in Skyrim, maybe all of Tamriel. Our tree here in the city was grown from a cutting of that tree. You can still feel the glory of the mother tree through it. Even its name is an echo. I've thought about that. Trees like this never really die, they only slumber. I think if we had some of the sap from the parent tree, we could wake up its child. But even if you could get to the Eldergleam, you couldn't tap it. Not with any normal metal. Eldergleam is older than metal, from a time before men or elves. To even affect it, you have to tap into the old magic. You'll have to deal with the Hag Ravens. I've heard about a weapon they've made for sacrificing Spriggans. It's called Nettlebane. The hags terrify me, or I would have gone after it myself. Your spirit is strong. Kinnereth's winds will guide your path. It's held in a Hagraven nest called Orphan Rock.
Take care with those flames.
You lost? I can't stand. I can tell you're new around here asking a question like that. My husband Eorland tends the Skyforge up at Jorvaskr, the Companion's Mead Hall. Oh, there's no finer smith in the Nine Halls. You should ask him about his work. It's the only subject that'll get him talking. Well, That and maybe those stuck-up, dung-sniffing battle-borns. Head up the steps from the market and look to your right. Can't miss it. You take care of yourself now.
Say you at it again. Strike when the shoulder turns.
I knew it.
He's giving you openings. Nice!
Get him! What are you waiting for?
Get him!
Oh!
You think you stand a chance?
I just tried to keep out of the way when they start roughhousing. A good bunch of men and women who make too much a mess, if you ask me. Goodbye, dear.
I'm going to enjoy killing you.
Haven't seen your
I'd
face
be
before.
dead if not for Vignar.
Watching you.
Took me in and helped to hear Vignar tell it. A bunch of layabouts and useless whiners who used to know how to fight. He thinks everything used to be better. I, for one, would trust any companion with my life.
Yes, you're very fond of saying that.
To hear Vignar tell it. A bunch of layabouts and useless whiners who used to know how to fight. He thinks everything used to be better. I, for one, would trust any companion with my life.
I've got a bad grip on my shield. Did you take a look at it?
Oh, I'm not a companion myself. I just helped Vignar. He took me in when I was having a tough time and, well, I owe him.
Farewell, sir.
Find me tomorrow and we can go over.
Plan on burning everything down, do you? Damn fool. Oh, we've got an old saying. The Grey Manes have lived in Whiterun since the first snows fell in Skyrim. Well, maybe that's not entirely true. But our clan's got a long and proud history in this hold. We respect the old ways, the Nord ways, and the Grey Mane has worked the Skyforge since before the time of my grandfather's father. I was done talking anyway.
But I still hear the call of the blood.
We all do. It is our burden to bear. But we can overcome.
You have my brother and I, obviously. But I don't know if the rest will go along quite so easily.
Leave that to me.
Great. Another ambitious visitor. You think you can just wander in here and join us? Aye.
A stranger comes to our hall.
Take care with those flames. They say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes.
What would you have me do then? Nothing?
My lord, please.
What's the
This is
meaning
no
of this
time for
interruption?
rash action.
Jarl
I just
Balgruuf
think
is
we need
not
more
receiving
information
visitors.
before we act. I just...
Who's this then?
As House Carl, my job is to deal with all dangers that threaten the Jarl or his people. So you have my attention. Now explain yourself. Whatever you have to say to the Jarl, you can say to me. I'm
It's all right,
starting to
Jarl.
think...
I want to hear what he has to say. What's this about Riverwood being in danger? Alvor? The smith, isn't he? Reliable, solid fellow. Not prone to flights of fancy. And you're sure Helgen was destroyed by a dragon. This wasn't some Stormcloak raid gone wrong? Really? You're certainly forthright about your criminal past. But it's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute, especially now. What I want to know is, what exactly happened at Helgen? By Ismir, Irileth was right! What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. If
The
that
Jarl of
dragon is lurking in the
will
mountains...
view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me,
Well done.
I'll return to my duties.
You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps? Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons. Farengar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there. Ah, no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information about dragons. Where had they gone all those years ago? And where were they coming from? I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone, said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself. I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense. Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task. An old tomb, built by the ancient Nords, perhaps dating back to the Dragon War itself. Ah, maybe you just want to know how to get there. It's near Riverwood, a miserable little village a few miles south of here. I'm sure some of the locals can point you in the right direction once you get there.
Well,
must preserve some professional secrets, mustn't we? I have my sources. Reliable sources. Ah, student of the craft. You'll need to start by learning an enchantment. Take an enchanted weapon or piece of armor, then use the arcane enchanter to learn its secrets. The item is destroyed in the process, so be wary. Once you know an enchantment, you'll need a filled soul gem and something to enchant. You'll use the arcane enchanter for that too. Of course, I have everything you need for sale if you have the coin. I'm not surprised you've never heard of it. Even I used to think it was just a myth. But not anymore. The Dragon War was a real event, although only the barest glimmer of the actual events has come down to us. Far back in the Mythic era, the dragons were worshipped as gods in Skyrim. Many of the monumental ruins that still dot the landscape were in fact built as temples to the dragons. The details are lost, but at some point, the Nords rebelled. After a long and terrible war, the Nords overthrew their dragon overlords. Oh no, many were killed, of course, but many survived into historical times. Why, this very palace was built by one of Balgruf's ancestors to hold a captive dragon. Hence its name, Dragon's Reach. So, you wish to master the arcane arts?